This portion of the CU podcast is brought to you by Gel Blaster Surge. Get ready to change the way you play. This revolutionary toy blasts water-based gellets that are natural and non-toxic. No stains, no residue, no mess. This is for real, Ian. We tested this with our safety goggles that comes with the Gel Blaster Surge. Safety first. This is a great fun right here.
Remember those like water battles we all had as kids?
Yes.
We'd walk around with water balloons and stuff like that. Well, we didn't have the Gel Blaster.
The Gel Blaster Surge can fire the gellets 100 plus feet.
If you're interested in the Gel Blaster Surge, it's got a lot of great features. It's rechargeable with a USB-C cord. It comes with 10,000 gellets, and it holds 800 in the hopper. So you can play for a long time in between refills and recharges.
10,000 gellets it comes with, and it blasts in single fire or fully automatic mode.
It's really, really fast. The pellets are non-toxic for your kids or pets, so there's no danger there, and it's relatively painless.
Grab a bunch of these, go out to the field, have a blast. Get it? Have a blast.
I do get it. That's good.
Did we mention that comes with the safety goggles? Always fashionable. You want to have fun out there? Get outside, get moving with the Gel Blaster Surge. You can click the link in our description or go to gelblaster.com and use our code GBCUPodcast to get 15% off your Gel Blaster order. That's gelblaster.com and use our code GBCUPodcast. Get yourself a Gel Blaster and get blasting. Ian, we got voicemails.
Oh, we do. How do you get those? How do you access those? How do you leave one?
You go to anchor.fm/the CU podcast, and I think you do it via web or your smartphone. Keep them short and sweet. 20 seconds, I love you. 20 seconds is that sweet spot. Hey, I'm from here. Here's my question or whatever. And you're off and running. And here is the first one.
Pat and Ian, this is your Prudendale friend, Chris, upstate friend. I just wanted to ask, because I'm watching your video of crash of sealed video game prices. It just occurred to me that, don't you think that the seals themselves can be faked? The plastic sealing, the boxes, especially with N64 games where the boxes are cheap as heck. Don't you think those seals and boxes can be faked too?
The seals, you need a really expensive machine to do the seals.
Yeah, I mean, the type of sealing that is done on them is like, you would have to do a big run at a professional factory to get anything close to that.
You could, if you had one of those professional factories, though. You probably could pull it
Sure.
off. Absolutely.
So this is Casey from Oregon, and I have a question just for Pat because I know Ian does not like to drive, which, Ian, I don't blame you. But Pat, what cars have you owned throughout your life, and which one was your favorite?
I only have owned two, so I don't have either favorite. But the first one I owned was a Geo Prism, which got like 44 probably highway miles per gallon because it was so small.
Yeah.
And the turn radius, you could almost turn around in the street without backing.
Yeah.
I loved it. I loved it because it was so cute and unpowerful and good gas mileage. Why'd you look at me like that? You gave me this look when I said cute. You're like, Geo Prism.
Hey Pat, hey Ian, what's up? This is Josh again, and I got another friend who's question.
Hey Josh.
So I was just in Connecticut for my buddy's wedding, and I saw a lot of friendlies, but I saw one friendlies that had a drive-through. Have you guys ever seen a friendlies or been to the friendlies that has a drive-through? I thought it was crazy. Thanks, guys.
I think the one in my, I think there was one in my hometown that had a drive-through, or maybe not a drive-through, but a separate walk-up window for ice cream. I think that's actually what I'm remembering. I think there's a separate walk-up window for ice cream.
I don't remember any drive-through.
Sorry, guys, if I sound a bit off. I'm fighting a nasty cold. This is Duffy from Louisville, Kentucky.
Louisville.
Ian, I someone recently got a copy of Yokoi Kids Annual 1. I'm only halfway through, but it's fantastic. Are there plans to do a second volume? Pat.
You want to answer that first before he sniffs?
So I hope you feel better or are feeling better. Will there be a volume 2? Honestly, I have no idea. I have a feeling we will get to one at some point. Yokoi Kids is still going on. But it was a lot of work for Rick. And the only money we took back from it was printing costs. It was a charity zine. I think we'll probably do it again. And I wouldn't be surprised if it was a charity zine. But I think it's probably a little ways off.
Excuse me.
Hey! Hey, Duffy! You want to be found murdered in a toilet in an airport like that old guy was? I mean, like I wanted to.
If you had to pick a classic 80s movie to get a sequel that never did, what would it be and why?
Always wanted the Goonies to have a sequel, but I mean, they're too late to even almost have kids. They're getting up there.
Yeah.
Goonies should have had a sequel about 10, 15 years ago with Richard Donner. And they thought about it, and I think they had a script at some point.
It was one of those things that, especially on early internet, always seemed to be rumored, but never came to fruition.
No, there should have been a Goonies sequel like 2010. There should have been.
Hey, Pat. Hey, Ian. This is Max calling from Madison, New Jersey. My parents got me Ape Escape 2 as a kid because they thought catching monkeys would be funny and very kid-friendly, and it definitely was. However, it took me until this past August to finally beat the game because my peanut-sized brain could not figure out how to progress. So I just wanted to know if there were any games that were similar to that for you guys, games that took a long time to beat, or games that were just shelved for too long. Thanks, guys.
What game it took you a while to beat that you came back to at a later time?
I can't really think of any, honestly.
Punch Out for me, for sure.
Punch Out for you.
I couldn't beat Mike Tyson forever.
Sure. At Contra, I got way better at Contra as I entered my teenage years. Yeah, when I growing up, I was not very good at it.
Even with the Konami code?
I mean, I'm talking about actually
just
playing
without it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That was late teens for me where I finally got that down.
I was always good at Ninja Gaiden, but it's that last freaking stage was insane. So that was always tough as a kid for me. But Ninja Gaiden is weird because it goes from, it's always difficult, but then that last stage it ups it so much that you really have to be play perfectly at some parts to get through it, and that's what makes it so frustrating.
I guess I could say beat 'em ups as just as a genre in general that I got better at with age, because as a kid I just I didn't play them with any strategy. I just walked up to enemies and started punching on them.
Sure.
Hey, Pat and Ian. It's Patrick from Elgin, Illinois.
Hey, Pat.
My question is for Pat regarding your thoughts on the Lethal Weapon sequels. Plus, a little trivia for you. The actor who played the main villain in Lethal Weapon 3 is the same actor who played the villain in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3.
Oh, really?
Thanks, guys.
I never saw Turtles 3. Lethal Weapon 2 is really good. Then 3 is bad. Or at least where I remember 3. I haven't seen 3 in forever. 3 is a real drop off from 2. Because the idea was, I guess, getting old at that point.
Sure.
And then 4 was from what I remember, 4 was decent, and it was a good send off to the series. It kind of tied up things, and then what's his name? Murphy becomes what's his name? Not Murphy. What's Danny Glover's?
Murphy is fucking RoboCop.
Yeah. I'm thinking of Lethal Weapon times RoboCop, which is a whole different series. Yeah, he gets his daughter is going to have a kid, so it's going to be a grandfather. So it kind of ties up the series. And then Mel Gibson, Riggs is going to have a kid with what's her name from the third one. So it ties up the series pretty nice. So I remember 3 being totally forgettable. I think they wrote it as they went. I read that they were literally writing it as they went, which is not good at all to do that. But 2 is 1 and 2 are great. 1 and 2 back to back are great to watch. You get crazy ass Gary Busey in the first one. It was terrifying. As the villain for
Love watching Gary Busey.
You see first Lethal Weapon.
I've never
recently?
seen any of them. We talked about this the other week.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
They put a flame under his arm, and the ones I think they really did it because he's there's a flame under some guy's arm, and he's just taking the pain. It's I think
he's crazy.
They might have actually done that with him.
Hello, Pat and Ian.
Hey.
This is Noah from Maryland. First time, long time. I would like to know what your thoughts are on the continued indefinite delay of Advance Wars Reboot Camp due to the war in Ukraine. As of the day I am recording this, it has been 6 months since Russia invaded Ukraine, and unfortunately, the war does not seem like it will end anytime soon. Do you think it still makes sense to indefinitely delay Advance Wars, which was intended to come out on April 8th because of this war? Do you think it is fair to the folks that wait?
That's you, Ian. It's not me.
Oh, the fuck?
That was not me. You're looking at me. The hell was that?
I had left my cursor over an ad, and it started playing with audio.
War. Do you think it is fair to the folks that Way Forward that they will not be able to make money from the sales of this game for the foreseeable future?
I think I can see delaying it when it was because the war was hitting right when it was supposed to come out. back earlier this year, like it was like early March, whenever it was supposed to come out. I say that. I think at some point though, you have to realize that this game has to come out.
This is Nintendo being Nintendo.
Yeah.
I mean, plenty of war games have come out. Modern Warfare 2 is in its beta. I don't love the theme of war for games, but at the same point in time, I think people know the difference between fantasy and reality. And Advanced Wars is played off as extremely cartoony.
It's a cute war game that Nintendo. It's a kiddie Nintendo war game. So,
Nintendo needs to get over it, and I think it should come out probably this year.
I think if they delayed it for a month or two, it'd be like, okay, fine, that's fine, be sensitive, but
It's literally finished.
There's always going to be conflicts, unfortunately, all around the world.
Doesn't look like they have a lot of stuff coming out this Christmas though, so maybe it would be a good time to launch that.
Yeah, I was looking forward to it. I like the Advanced War games.
I love them.
Do a few more.
Hey, Pat and Ian, this is Ryan from South Carolina. Love the show. This is a football question. Pat, since you're a Giants fan, and Ian, since you're a Bills fan, Ian, how do you feel about the Giants taking most of the staff from the Bills? And in turn, Pat, do you think that the Bills staff will be able to turn this thing around? Love the show, guys. Thanks.
No, the Giants at best will make a wild card and get destroyed. I mean, at best. I like watching the Giants play, but it's too early for their team to have turned it around in one season with a new culture they're trying to do there. But Dable's been good. Thanks to the Buffalo.
I'm not particularly upset. People move around all the time. That's just sports. That's football. I do think they could have a positive effect on the Giants, but as you said, I think it's too early. And it really, at the end of the day, it comes down to the players on the field.
Very, 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 very locker room type of answer. You take it day to day, and
you listen to enough fucking sports announcing, your brain goes to mush, and you just start saying words that sound right. I'm not immune to it.
Hey guys, John from Lloydminster, Canada again. I was just wondering if you have any favorite game redemption stories in the style of like how No Man's Sky finally shook out. For me, it's got to be the modern console ports of Doom and Doom 2. They were really shaky when they first came out, but they've fixed the aspect ratio and the music and the graphics and the controls, and now they play pretty well. They even have a curated list of WODs you can add on, like the Final Doom stuff or Romero's Sigil. Thank you.
That's a little bit different just because the original Doom was great, so it didn't have to redeem itself.
I don't think that's quite the same. I think I think absolutely. No Man's Sky is probably the best example of that. But when you said redemption, I was going redemption game.
I'll say redemption game stories.
I can tell. We used to go to putt-putt, my friends and I, in high school because we were bored with nothing to do, and we would play the shit out of Colorama. Still probably my favorite redemption game. It's just roulette for children. That's all it is.
Really? I don't think I ever played that.
That's all it is. There's 5 colors in a ball, and all the colors are different sizes, and you pick which color it's going to land on, and obviously the smaller spaces give you more tickets. It's not a game.
I've seen non-skill redemption games where like the balls drop or whatever.
There's lots of them.
But they try to make them skill-based in terms of the time. You're talking about literally gambling. It's all chance.
Yeah, it's all chance.
Oof.
Well, there's a button. There's a button you can hit to like slow it down. And stop it. So like there's some.
I was gonna say I think for legality there has to be some
there
influence.
is some influence, but very very little.
Ooh, I was gonna say, God, that sounds like a slot machine thing. There were slot machine. Going back to the Jersey Shore, there were literal slot machine one-armed bandits to win, but I don't know if kids were prevented, but there was always the old women and old guys in their 60s, 70s playing them. It was so weird because it's you're gambling for tokens to get little stuffed animals back. I do a few more here.
Hey guys, it's Brian from PA. In a recent episode, you were talking about rather out there pinball titles, and I was wondering, Ian, have you ever played Pinball Quest for the Nintendo?
Yeah,
we love that. We love that game. It's so weird and.
Yeah, it's fun. Physics can be a little wonky, but the idea is great. I really like video game pinball, and as I get more into I play pinball multiple days a week now. It's my main hobby. But video game pinball that is video gamey, I love that shit. I have less and less interest in playing like virtual recreations of machines. I'd rather play them, but like Pinball Quest, the Devil's, the Crush series, Demon's Tilt, all of that shit. I love it.
You're like a narrative with your pinball.
Well, it's not even a narrative. I just want it to. I don't want it to try to be the real thing. I want it to be its own thing.
Sure. You want little characters running around doing shit, and you hit them, and I get it. Stuff you can't do in a real pinball machine.
Exactly.
Hey guys, Sergeant Zombie here. I know it's been a while. Been busy waging war against humanity. You may have noticed no circuses around lately. That's because, thanks to the zombie army, never liked clowns anyway. They always left a funny taste in your mouth. Just wanted to talk about Vid 331. You guys were talking about kart racers. In Mario Kart, I always liked Toad. He's a fun guy you can play as. I'll see myself out.
Thank you, Sergeant Zombie. Keep that fight against humanity going. I guess
we're happy for you.
I don't know where I'm supposed to go with that. Do one or two more?
Let's do one more.
Want to check in with someone?
Let's check in with someone. I'm happy that we have someone else we can check in on now every once in a while.
Okay.
Hey, Pat. Hey, Ian. It's Voxandra, New Jerseyan refugee. I needed to call in because that attack on Pat was absolutely uncalled for.
Gross.
And I don't think any of us should stand for it. I mean, seriously, Gorgonzola? Someone just tossing accusations of cheese-like body odor, as well as stereotyping using an Italian cheese? The grating audacity of someone to try and shred Pat's character. Ian can back up the fact that Pat smells like no such thing, and it is, in fact, a pleasant hint of fresh mozzarella. By the way, did you know I used to get teased by my Connecticut friends for saying Mario? I started pronouncing it Mario since they'd get all up in my ass about saying it wrong. From now on, I'll pronounce Mario as I should, with the new confidence you have given me. And if anyone gives me shit, I can say Pat Contry says you can kiss his mozzarella ass.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, on to the purpose of my call. I was practicing Castlevania Bloodlines the other day because I'm not as good as it as I am with Castlevania 3, which made me think of something I wanted to ask you guys. Do you ever want to play...
Sorry, you ran out of
time.
Ran out of runway there, Voxandra. Thanks for saying Mario the proper way on the East Coast. And that, I smell like mozzarella. I don't smell like gorgonzola. That'd be a tough one. Is that a Dr. Squatch? Smell gorgonzola.
Gorgonzola sunrise.